For once my intro now involves Moreno. Where are you going? My boyfriend's behind me but you can't see him, please don't want to be in it. So we're going to try and do some pole work today. I don't know how this is going to go because I haven't ridden him all week because of the weather. So it could be interesting. He's absolutely stinking as well. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, there's my boyfriend there. But yeah, the yard's very quiet today, so I thought I'd do my intro with him. I might do my outro with him as well. You might get spoiled today. But yeah, we're in a bit of a rush, so I'll see you with the pole work exercises, I guess. So we've got some very long walk poles, but they can be trot poles as well, I'm pretty sure. Two little canter ones, but that coloured one's a skinny. And then I'm pretty sure these are trot poles as well, but I didn't set these ones up. So the plan is to come over these ones, walk and trot, these ones canter, and these ones probably trot and walk as well. Hopefully you can do it alright anyway. So I'm just going to nip in here really quick and say that if anyone wants to know why I lunge before I ride, it's not because he's fresh, although in this case he hadn't been ridden in a week, so he was also fresh. But this is advice from our chiropractor just to loosen up his weight carrying muscles, just in case anyone's curious. And that's also why the lunging aid is there, just to make sure he's stretching, because he's quite the big fan of just running about with his nose out in the air. So yeah, I just thought I would clear that up for you guys. So I'm not going to voice over this entire ride because I'm hoping that you'll be able to make out what I'm saying. But I do just do a warm-up as well as lunging. We need to really work on our walk pole, as you could hear me say there to my boyfriend, that he does knock them quite a lot. I think at this point it's snowing, so that's what we're talking about. But yeah, just so I would let you know, I'm not going to voice over the whole thing, but I will nip in and out and just let you guys know kind of what's going on. is literally the prime example of why I was doing this exercise. Moreno was perfectly capable of doing poles, like he's brilliant at them, but he's just a bit like careless with them. Um, Trot poles he's actually usually not that bad at, but whenever it comes to canter and walk poles, they just get sent flying everywhere. So that was kind of the main aim of this exercise, and that's why I had the poles for every pace. We actually ended up doing the poles I'm going over right now as canter and trot poles because they fit perfectly for walk, trot, and canter. The poles coming that I'm just passing now. I thought they were trot poles. They're actually better as canter poles. He struggled a little bit in trot, and the pole with the skinny, the two poles in the middle of the arena, I just can't set up striding. Apparently, ended up using them as trot poles in the end, but they still weren't great trot poles. But that was, I couldn't ask my boyfriend to fix them because he's not horsey, he doesn't really understand, and I couldn't be bothered getting off to fix them, so that's kind of what we had to deal with. You can also tell just as I ride round, the more you ask of Moreno, he becomes really soft in your hand. But whenever he sees that was, oh my god, that was so bad. Oops. You can just hear me say here that I drifted really, really badly in that. I didn't keep my leg on at all, apparently. But yeah, the more you ask of Moreno to work through his body, obviously he becomes softer in your hand. But whenever he sees a pole, this is another reason we're doing this exercise, he just gets so excited and the head goes right up. And that's half my fault for not doing enough pole work so that whenever he does see a pole, he gets incredibly excited. But it's a work in progress. I'm hoping to be able to, get him working nicely over the poles. I would love to be able to go over the poles quite long and low, but I think his brain might explode because he just gets so excited, and if you don't hold him together, he will just launch his entire body over every pole put in front of him. So you can quite clearly tell here that canter is our most difficult pace. He's more reluctant to bend and he's more reluctant to go onto the bit in canter, but we're still working on that after his chiropractor treatment because that was one of his issues. After his fall in the horse box, his canter had suffered from that. I'm not sure, I can't really remember exactly what the chiropractor had said, but she did explain that the fall had been the cause of the difficulty in canter, and now that he's feeling better, it's a work in progress. Whereas before, no amount of work would have changed it. He was uncomfortable. So now we're working on it. So just try not to judge us too badly on our canter. We are trying. It is a work in progress, and it's actually got a lot better recently, believe it or not. I'm gonna try these poses.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was me just apologising to Moreno because that was literally shocking. I have this thing where I hold him too much going into the poles, and then that makes him fight more. And well. So he's a hard horse to read, he's quite tricky and it's hard to find the balance, but again, we're working on it. So at this part of the ride, something had actually spooked him and he started getting quite tense, so it felt like we were basically back to square one. But luckily enough, he did settle quite quickly, which I was really, really happy with, because most of the time it takes him quite a long time to settle after a spook. It'll take him like 20 minutes, but this time he came back to me quite quickly. I think he's learned to trust me a little bit more, which is really, really nice. But I was really happy with him for how quickly he came back to me after that little moment. Guys, I'm so sorry about all the burping in this video. It literally is not me, but and I hope you can tell it's not me because I'm on Moreno. If I was burping that loud, there would be, something not right. It is my boyfriend. You can blame him. Half leaving this in because I don't want to mute it because you can hear me talking to Moreno and I want you to be able to hear that kind of communication. I don't want to cut it out of the video because then you can't really see the exercise flowing. So I'm sorry, you'll have to deal with it. If he does that, I'll do one last exercise and get him off. So the final aim of this session was to be able to trot over these poles, and then I wanted to pick up canter like I did there. I would prefer it to be a sharper transition, but he was starting to get a bit tired. Canter over these poles, and then be able to get him back to trot, to go over my trotting poles again, change rein, pick up canter, canter over the poles I've just trotted past, and then canter over my canter poles again, back to trot and over my trot poles. Now Moreno would find this difficult because our transitions aren't the sharpest. That's something we're working on. He does struggle with getting lazy over poles. He hasn't been ridden all week, so he does get a bit fresh, and whenever he spooks, all hell breaks loose and poles go flying everywhere. So if he had have done this, I would have been so proud because he would have had to really keep his brain engaged. And also the turn in between both canter poles is incredibly tight. It doesn't really look it in the video, but it is so tight. And he was really adjustable with me being able to kind of lengthen him a bit for the longer pose and then shorten him for the turn and then lengthen him a bit. So overall I was super, super proud of him. You can see I was able to shorten him up there to get that stride. He comes back to me here really nicely to canter over these poles again. So at the end of it, I was just super, super proud of him. I ended up getting the outcome I wanted really at the end of the session. It would have been nicer if I had have adjusted these poles to be the right stride, but he even went over them, he figured out his feet, and he was just absolutely brilliant, and you can see me giving him a massive pat at the end of it. Hi guys, so I just wanted to come on here and reiterate how happy I was with Moreno. Obviously I said what the goals were in the video, just to get just transitions a bit sharper, get him listening a bit more and things like that. And I was so happy with him because he was able to do everything and he did it really well. I wasn't really happy with my riding because I wasn't feeling very well, but he hadn't been riding in a week, and you know, sometimes you gotta just accept things like that. Sometimes things happen, so we'll not talk about that, that's alright. Also wanted to add that I lost all my non-copyright music because my laptop had some issues. So we are sticking with this kind of song at the minute because I had to kind of panic and find one. So I don't know if you like it or not. Don't know. I'll see. Might keep it, might not. We'll see. But yeah, that is all for this week's video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another video. Bye!